Okay, let's dive right in. If you're an ambitious clinic owner, someone who wants to build a truly dominant brand, not just another local practice, this is for you. We're going to break down how you can create an advantage that your competitors literally cannot copy.
This is a really powerful idea from business consultant Dr. Ari Masudi, and it's powerful because it suggests that the entire industry's standard playbook for how to grow, well, it might be missing the most important piece of the puzzle entirely.
I want you to really stop and think about this for a second. It's a huge frustration for so many of the best practitioners. You invest in top-tier training, you buy the absolute latest technology, and yet patients still drift away. Why does that happen? Well, the answer isn't what you think it is.
Now look at this. This slide reveals a massive disconnect. On the left, you've got everything a premium clinic pours money and time into. The machines, the training, the fancy before and afters. But look at the right. That's what actually sticks in a patient's mind. They don't remember the laser's wavelength, they remember how easy it was to book, they remember the feeling of being cared for. That's what matters.
And this disconnect leads to what we can call the sea of sameness. When every premium clinic in town has good doctors, a nice office, and a slick Instagram feed, you all start to look the same. And when that happens, patients just choose based on convenience, or a random recommendation, or pure luck, not based on who's actually the best.
So here's the crucial point. Your clinical excellence is basically invisible to the average patient. They can't judge your injection technique. But you know what they are absolute experts on? How they were treated. They can tell with perfect clarity how they felt from that very first click on your website to the follow-up message a week later. That feeling, that is your real brand.
And that brings us to the solution. Instead of competing on things patients can't even judge, you compete on something they feel in their gut, an effortless experience. This is all about designing a patient journey that is so smooth, so reassuring, and so simple that it becomes your #1, uncopyable competitive advantage.
So, how do we actually build this thing? It's not magic, it's a methodology. And it all comes down to 5 core principles. I want you to think of this as the strategic blueprint for turning your clinic's operations into a true brand-building machine. Let's get into it.
We're going to break down each of these 5 steps. And as we go, I want you to think about how each one applies to your own clinic. We'll start with all those little hidden annoyances. Then we'll talk about becoming a guide, building patient habits, knowing which friction is actually a good thing, and finally, just communicating with total clarity.
All right, let's start with the small stuff. Every confusing sentence in your aftercare instructions, every extra click in your booking system, these aren't just minor issues. They are like tiny paper cuts to your brand. They create friction that just slowly chips away at your premium promise. Your best patient retention tool isn't your skill with a needle. It's making every single step of their journey feel simple and clear.
Principle 2 is about guiding, not overwhelming. Think about it. Patients come to you for your expert opinion, not to go shopping from a menu. Presenting 6 different treatments just creates anxiety and confusion. But making a single, confident recommendation, based on your goals, this is what I recommend and here's why, that positions you as the trusted expert. It's the difference between a consultant and a salesperson, and it makes your patient feel relieved and confident.
And this right here illustrates the third principle perfectly. You have to build small habits. Loyalty is not an accident, it's designed. A system of small personal touchpoints, like a simple check-in message 2 days after their treatment, keeps you present in the patient's life. It transforms a one-off visit into a routine, making you the obvious choice for their next treatment without them even having to think about it.
Okay, now for a little nuance here. The goal is not to eliminate all effort. Some steps are absolutely worth keeping. A short pre-consultation questionnaire isn't a hassle. It's a premium signal. It tells the patient that you are serious, you're prepared, and you're selective. The key is that the step must serve the patient, not just your own internal process.
And finally, principle 5, write like a human. Just look at this sentence. It's simple, it's direct, and it's incredibly reassuring. It anticipates a patient's exact worry and just addresses it head-on. This one sentence builds way more trust than a page of technical jargon that nobody understands anyway. Clarity is confidence.
When you put all 5 of these principles together, something really powerful starts to happen. You stop being just another clinic, and you start becoming a brand. A competitor can buy the same laser tomorrow. They can copy your price list overnight, but they absolutely cannot copy an effortless experience that your patients have already lived, felt, and told all their friends about. And this
is the ultimate payoff. The reputation you build isn't based on something abstract like quality. It's based on a tangible feeling. It just felt different. That is the most powerful marketing statement you could ever hope for, and it's earned through operational excellence, not some big ad campaign.
Okay, so theory is great, but let's make this real. Here is a clear action plan with things you can start working on this week to begin building your own effortless experience. I mean it. Grab a pen, open a new document, and get ready to actually do this stuff.
First, what to redesign. I want you to map out your entire patient journey, from discovery to follow-up, and question everything. Ask yourself, why do we do it this way? Is there an easier way for the patient? Next, change your consultation. Lead with your expert recommendation. Don't be afraid to be decisive. And finally, build a system for your follow-up messages, so every single patient gets that same high level of care. Make it a process, not a random act.
Second, what to eliminate. And you need to be ruthless here. Cut every single unnecessary field from your intake forms. If you're not using it to improve their experience, don't ask for it. It's just noise. Get rid of the menu of options in your consultations. This saves them anxiety and it saves you time. And finally, go through your website, your emails, your aftercare sheets, and delete any sentence that's there for your benefit instead of theirs. If it's not helping the patient, it's gone. And finally, 3 critical decisions you need to make. Don't try to fix everything at once. Decide which one part of the journey will have the biggest impact and start right there. Ask yourself honestly, is our booking process designed for us or for our patients? And then, define on paper what your standard post-treatment relationship actually is. What does that communication look like, and when does it happen?
So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought. Think about your most demanding patient. You know, the one with the highest expectations. If she described her complete experience at your clinic, from start to finish, what would she say? If the answer doesn't include the words easy, clear, or reassuring, well, then you know exactly where the real work begins.